I'm going to give an example of how you could write a program that when given a student's name and their score in a class, it'll return to you what their letter grade in the class is. So first I'm going to have a variable for the name of our student. So let's say student name. And we don't know what the student's name is yet, so I'm just going to not assign it and just declare. So this is just going to get a spot in memory to save student name, and we just haven't given it a value yet. And then I'm also going to have a student score here. We are going to get the student name and the student score as input into our program from whoever's using our program. So it could be a teacher writing in a student's name and a student score, and they want to see what the letter grade of the student is. So since we will be using the scanner, I will have to import Java util scanner. And then of course I can make my scanner, new scanner. We always pass in system.in here. And we'll go ahead and say that the student name is scan.next line. So that's going to get the first line that you type in and you click enter. It's going to get put into the variable student name. And then student score is going to be the next double that gets passed in to our program. So just for now, before I even do the code for the letter grade, I just want to check that this worked correctly and that I am getting input right from our program. So I'm going to go ahead and say student name received a score of, and then I'm going to add in student score just to make sure that we got our input in correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. Any second now, it's just loading. So this should not print out anything in the beginning because it's going to be waiting for me to type something in. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the student's name is Christina. Then I'm going to type in 90. And now it says Christina received a score of 90. So we know that 90 got put into student score correctly and Christina got put into student name correctly because we have this system.out.println statement here. So now let's get into the actual code that's going to print out what the letter grade for this student would have been. So we would definitely need some if statements here because if the student's score is greater than or equal to, let's say 90 is an A in this class, you can print out, let's say their name, received, and well, we could just write A in the class. Now we'll need an else because if this is not true, then we'll jump into this code. If the student score is greater than or equal to 80, so this will say if the student score is greater than or equal to 90, it'll fall into this and it'll ignore any code afterwards. So even if you get an 81, it'll skip this and it'll go into here. If you get a 91, it'll go in here and it'll skip this code, so you won't also print out that they got a B. So that's the beauty of the else statement. You won't get into it if the if before it was executed. So here I'm actually forgetting the if part, so make sure that whenever you do the else and you have a condition, you need to put the if there. If I would have ran the code before putting this if that I forgot, it would error out. So now we have another case, student score is greater than or equal to 70. And we're going to do the same line of code, we're going to print, but now they get a C. And now let's say a 60 and up is a D in this class. So we'll say 60 here. We'll change this to D. And then if anyone else, so if you're not greater than 60, you're not greater than 70, 80, or 90, then you must be below 60, greater than or equal to, sorry, so make sure that equal. So in that case, you are 59 or below if you make it to this else statement. So in this case, we will say that you got an F in this class. So if we run this, let's see if it works. And it's saying we are missing a curly brace somewhere. Here it is. Let's try again. Okay, so we'll write Christina. I'm gonna put, oops. I'm gonna put a 90 here and it should say I received an A. As you can see, the spacing's not very pretty, so all we have to do is add a space here. And that should fix it. Let's run this program again. Let's say we received a 65 in the class. In this case, we should receive a D. So it's not bigger than 90 or equal to, it's not bigger than or equal to 80, not 70, not 60. Well, it is greater than or equal to 60. So it will get into this code and it will receive a D. And we know if it gets into this condition, it'll skip the else's underneath and it won't print out F as well. So this should just print out that we received a D in the class. And that's what we have. Christina received a D.